Hello all, hope you're doing well. I'm sorry this video is a little late. It's obviously a Wednesday. I did not mean for it to be late, but there's some things here going on at the college that not even I can control. So just wanted to get you into chapter 12, get you a little bit so you guys could have some things to, read, review. Talk about chapter 12, basically the actual internal audit process itself, the three phases of the assurance engagement process. I told you to see Exhibit 12.3 on page 5. The three are planning, performing, and communication. These are all very important when you're talking about internal auditing. Planning. What's the scope? What are we actually going to be auditing ourselves? What are some of the activities that we need to be able to audit? Okay. Are they internal controls designed to ensure that nobody's doing anything wrong? Are they adequate? Do we have enough resources? Do we have enough people to be able to do our internal audit here? These are all things you have to consider when you're planning it. Actually performing the audit is different. We have to be able to gather evidence, do tests to gather these evidence, develop observations, formulate recommendations, be able to say, hey, I see the way that you're doing this, but how about if we do it this way? Or how about if we do this way? These are things that you can do in performing an internal audit. Lastly, we have to be able to communicate our results, and we're going to talk about this more towards the end, but we have to give assurances, how we feel that the company did. We have to do monitoring, follow-up, to make sure that some of the things that we've been suggesting are taking place. Okay, so that brings us to inherent risk, and I said I would give you examples of this. This is basically the combination of both internal and external factors in their pure uncontrolled state. So what that really means, there's the academic term. What's going to happen when nobody's there? What's going to happen when the company's performing just like it does? Is there inherent risk there? Now, when I'm there as the auditor, the risk is going to go down. Why? Because they know that somebody's there watching them. But when they're in their actual controlled state, what kind of risk is there? That's the things that we have to identify. We have to identify where things are going to happen and where they may not. I told you I'd give you an example. A really good example of this is the example I gave a couple chapters back of me when I was younger at Champ Sports. Yeah, there was an inherent risk there. In the uncontrolled state, the pure state, I could commit fraud. If there was an auditor there, I would have played it by my P's and Q's. So we have to understand as auditors, what is the pure uncontrolled risk that could happen with nobody there? Is there a high risk capability? Yes, in my case, there was. Now, if somebody's there, there's not. So we have to consider that. Could something happen? What could happen? Where could it happen? Where's the risk at? Lastly, we have to talk about negative assurance and positive assurance. Okay? Make sure that you read the differences here because they are very, very important. When we offer our communication through the audit, we have to offer some kind of an assurance. There's many different ways you can do this, but I chose to focus on these two. Positive assurance, this means, hey, I believe everything I've written down, everything I've communicated to you is 100% correct. I believe, not 100%, I'm sorry, do not quote me on that. I believe without a reasonable doubt that things are going to be done the way that they're said they're done, that there's no risks involved. Negative assurance means I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure of things that are going on. I can't conclude 100% that everything's fine, but for the most part, I believe they are. There's a difference. You got to make sure you understand the difference for this test. Again, it is April 9th. The weather is perfect. Get out and enjoy it. Try to get through. We only have a couple more weeks, guys. Talk to you later.